Hello and welcome. So in today's video we are going to be talking about Empress Elizabeth of Austria and her obsession with beauty. So Empress Elizabeth of Austria, also known as Sisi, was born on the 24th of December 1831. Her parents were Duke Maximilian Joseph of Bavaria and Princess Ludovica. When she was 16 years old, Sisi married her first cousin, Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria. Now, Sisi wasn't actually the intended bride for Franz Joseph. That was meant to be her older sister, Helene. But when Franz Joseph saw Sisi, he was captured by her beauty and proposed to her instead. Now, Sisi wasn't all that happy at the Austrian court. She felt suffocated there, and she didn't get on too well with her mother-in-law, Princess Sophie of Bavaria, who also happened to be her aunt. Now, Princess Sophie was basically the power behind the throne, and she would dominate and scrutinise Sisi. Now, when Sisi gave birth to her first child, a daughter, Princess Sophie took the baby away from her, named the baby Sophie, and then picked the carers and the wet nurses to look after the child in place of her mother. And this happened again and again when Sisi had more children. At the Austrian court, Sisi began to suffer from anxiety from the constant scrutiny of the court, which was made worse by her mother-in-law. She became increasingly more marginalised and lonely, and when her first child, Sophie, died, she fell into depression. Sisi became fixated with keeping her weight below 50 kilograms, which is around 7 stone. When she ate, she would only eat a light broth. She believed that she had only been chosen to be empress because of her beauty and because she felt like she had no control over anything in her life apart from her own body. She decided to take control of that. Sisi felt that her body was the only thing of value that she truly possessed. Sisi would have her corsets tightened so that she only had a 16-inch waist, and then she would wear clothes to emphasize her tiny waist. She had gymnasiums installed in all her private apartments in all her palaces, and she would work out for hours a day to keep herself as thin as possible. Sisi's hair was her pride and joy. She had really long, heavy hair, and she would often complain that she got headaches from it, but she refused to have her hair cut. Her stylist would spend 3 hours a day doing her hair, and while she was doing her hair, the stylist would wear white gloves, and she would carry around a silver bowl with her that would collect any hairs that fell from Sisi's head during styling. Afterwards, Sisi would go through the hairs looking for any that were grey. Her stylist also had permission to pluck any grey hairs out of her head. At night, Sisi would lie on a hard bed to keep her back straight, and while she slept, she would wear a leather mask under which would either be raw meat or fruit to moisturise her skin. So Sisi hardly wore any makeup, but she did have her own team of personal pharmacists that would make up any lotions and potions to help keep her hair and her skin looking perfect. So as she became older and it became harder to stay looking youthful, Sisi withdrew from the public gaze and banned any photographs or paintings of herself, so that the only images remaining of her would be the youthful ones. So that was the little story about Empress Elizabeth of Austria and her obsession with her beauty. I do find it really sad that she felt she had so little control over her life, that the one thing she felt she did have control over, she basically went to the extremes with it so she would feel better. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.